Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is another special day and we finally get to talk about another Nintendo console, and it's been about at least like 24 minutes since the last one I talked about, and that's too long of a time, bro, I'll be honest. And we get to talk about a console that was actually one of my most viewed console videos at one time, like back in like 2016, and actually at a time it was one of my most viewed videos back in 2016, which is insane. And the fact that I remember that is pretty weird because I have like really bad memory. But the Nintendo DSi is one of those really cool consoles that honestly in a way is kind of funny, but also at the same time it kind of brought a lot to the table in a way. And funny enough for me, and this might just be me, but when I typed in Nintendo DSi XL on my search bar, not even typing in 2019 reviews, on the video tab, my videos are the first 3 videos that showed up for me. Now that could be wrong, that could be totally just me because of my cookies or something in my browser, but if that's really the case, then Google, you need to send me more money for advertising my things like that. But the Nintendo DSi and the DSi XL actually came out at different times technically. The DSi came out in 2008, the DSi XL came out in 2009, and this was really just a bigger version of the original Nintendo DSi. Now the funny thing is that that same concept is kind of going on really in every demographic in phones and technology in general. If you look at it, phones are getting bigger and they're releasing bigger versions. MacBooks, they've always had bigger versions, but could we necessarily say the DSi XL is the one that pioneered that? I'm not going to say it is or isn't, but that is something to keep in mind. Obviously, I'm joking around, but the cool thing about the DSi XL is that you get that bigger type of style, which I've always liked, and that style is something that's really, really awesome. Now, it's really, really thick, and I've mentioned this in so many other videos. Like, it's one of the thickest things I've ever seen, bro, and I look at myself in the mirror every single day, and I'm a pretty thick thing, and for the DSi XL, it's pretty much like up there. I like the back texture, as I've stated. It feels really cool. I don't know how to describe it. I've described it as like a matte silver kind of thing, but that doesn't make any sense. It's like some matte texture, so I don't know what it is about. Now, there is a camera on the front and the back on this thing, which is cool. I don't know why you'd ever need it, and it's probably like the worst camera I've ever seen in a thing, but I guess you have that capability, which is cool. Now, one cool thing about actually when you flip it open is, and the DSi didn't have this, but it actually clicks in place. So when you fold it open, it like clicks. It reminds me of like a kickstand kind of thing. But also at the same time, that hinge can get very loose. And I've seen DSi XLs that have very loose hinges. The DSi, as far as I know, the smaller one does not have that problem or even has that capability of clicking in place. But it's really not that big of a deal, and it's a feature, but it's kind of a weird thing, if I'm being honest. And the thing I really like about it, the buttons, so when you click them, they're very clicky. You can do many things with them, I guess. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But the buttons and the controlling of this thing are very cool. They're very similar to the original Nintendo DS and the DSi, but they're just a little bit more clicky. I don't know how to describe it, but that is something I really do like. Now, when you look at the screens, I'll be honest, the screens aren't like the best looking things in the world. They're very, very pixelated. The original Nintendo DSi and even the Nintendo DS Lite actually have pretty good screens on them. I like the bigger screens, but I don't like how pixelated the screens are. The pixels on those screens, you can literally point out every single pixel on those things, which is not a good thing, so it's not a bad panel, but it's not the best in a way. So now, turning it on and looking at the software, I'm a software guy. I look at a lot of software, and I literally love the transition going from a DS Lite to a DSi and DSi XL. The whole entire feature selection of the software is awesome. It really reminded me of the Nintendo Wii. You not only have, the access to the internet and Wi-Fi settings and all those cool little things, I guess, but you also have an app store kind of thing, which I guess they discontinued now, but you had that sort of capability, which is so cool. And for a gaming console back in 2009, that really wasn't like a crazy thing. I mean, now we expect everything to have, some sort of app market or something, but at that time, that really wasn't the most popular thing to do. And the Nintendo Wii was around this time too, so it was really cool that we had that capability. However, that came at a cost. As you guys know, the DSi XL did not have a Game Boy Advance slot, which a lot of people hated, and me personally, I was kind of in the middle. I didn't like not having that, but also like I wasn't the biggest Game Boy Advance addict. Like I owned it and I had some games for it, but once I got that DS Lite, I was literally all over that. I didn't even use any of my PS1s or anything like at the time. The DSi XL more or less is, in my opinion, one of the best stepping stones up from one console to the other. They had to get rid of that Game Boy Advance slot, but you were able to get that software capability, which is really, really cool. Now, the biggest advantage, as I've stated, with not only the DSi XL and not only the DSi, but also the DS Lite and the original DS, is the gaming selection. It is such an amazing, vast majority of games you have that you can pick from. You have all those Super Marios, Super Mario Kart, the Zeldas, like so many games out for them. I can't even get started. And every time I go to GameStop, I love seeing their like little rotational rectangle thing with the clear glass on front, and you can see like all those little game cartridges out there, and just see how many games there are, bro. Like there's so many games out there, and I hate how they made the games look like SD cards. This thing does have an SD card slot, which is really cool, and it's super easy to modify. Literally a baby can do it, and I think I have a tutorial on how to do it on this channel, or maybe my second channel, I don't remember. But the thing with this console is that you can literally pick any two words, make it look, put NDS at the end of it, and you can probably find a game that has some sort of naming to it. There's so many games out for this thing, and it's literally one of my favorite consoles for just the gaming selection alone. Now, it would have been cooler had there been some sort of Game Boy Advance cartridge slot on it, but at the end of the day, it's not really that big of a deal, and I really do like the gaming selection on this thing for sure. And one of my favorite things about this gaming console would definitely be the battery life. The DS Lite had pretty good battery life. The DSi I thought had pretty decent battery life too, but this thing not only does it have a bigger screen, which is not an asset, but it's so pixelated that they really didn't increase the resolution, which is even a plus for battery life, but it also has a bigger battery inside of it. And I think that's definitely one of my favorite things about this gaming console would definitely be the battery life. Yeah, you'll probably have to charge every once in a while, but you can get a very, very, very long use case out of it for sure. And maybe the battery life has degraded a little bit here and there, but without a doubt, the Nintendo DSi XL's battery life, in my opinion, is one of the best battery lives of any Nintendo console ever. It beats my Nintendo Switch, it beats this Nintendo Switch Lite, it beats my DSi, the DS Lite, all those consoles. I think this is probably the Nintendo console that had the best battery life ever. Maybe the Game Boy Advance SP, but I don't have too much familiarity with that, even though I've already reviewed it. I really don't know that console in and out, but the DSi XL for sure had one of the best battery lives ever. Now, to kind of sum up this video, dude, I mean, this console is completely worth it. Obviously, it's not going to have the best games ever. It's not going to have the best looking games on top of that, but I would definitely recommend you, dude. If you can pick one up for like $15, $20, I would say go for it. However, what I will tell you is that if you want to get the most out of a gaming console, you might want to go for a 3DS or a 3DS XL, even those older versions. And the reason I say that is because most of the time than not, those consoles will not only give you more features at the end of the day, but it'll give you just more to do, which kind of goes in with the features. There's more games for it. Some games are still being developed for it, and at the end of the day, you don't want to kind of be setting yourself up for a console that's not getting supported. It doesn't really have much going for it anyway. We've seen those things of Nintendo saying the 3DS and the 2DS XL, it's not, ending the line. The Switch and Switch Lite are not taking over that Nintendo 2DS and 3DS lineup, and there's still some life left in it for sure, but you might be better off getting a 2DS and 3DS. And I'll give you a quick little rundown. The DSi XL, I purchased this one, I think back in 2017 for about $50, $40, somewhere around that price tag. You can definitely pick up a 2DS or 3DS XL right now in 2020 for about $50, $40. Like, it's not going to cost you that much money. I picked up that one red black 3DS that I show in my videos sometimes. I picked that one up for like $40. Like, it did not cost me that much money at all. And that one definitely has way more features on it than a DSi XL. But at the end of the day, if you just want to play Nintendo DS games, the DSi XL is the best way to go. But if you want to have that more capability, the 3DS might be the better way to go, or the 3DS XL. But at the end of the day, I think truly the DSi line was one of the best advantages going from one console to the other for sure. Yeah, like I said, there were some weird things with it. There might have been some, problems here and there, and the screen would probably be one of my least favorite things about it because it's so pixelated, but I truly believe that the Nintendo DSi and the DSi XL lineup are definitely, I think, more important in the lineup, more so than the Nintendo 3DS and 3DS XL lineup. And I don't know why they changed it to the new 3DS and new 3DS XL. Like, why couldn't they just put up a new name? And I even made those 4DS rumors and renders and stuff that what a potential could look like. I truly don't think it's probably going to look like that. I think they're really going to focus more so on the Switch lineup, but they said that it's not ending, so I guess we'll see what happens to the DS lineup. But if you can pick up a DSi XL for about $20, go for it. But if you want to spend some more money, I would definitely highly recommend you picking up a 3DS or 3DS XL and kind of going from there. But that's really pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it would mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.